We live in a world where attention is everything. If you have enough attention, you can literally launch any product or any service and make money doing it. You see, having a personal brand can drastically change your entire life because it allows you to set up a business where you make money online. Now, it's gonna help you get more clients. It's gonna help you attract the top talent to work for your business, and it's gonna help you become an authority in your niche. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down some of my top tips and strategies to help you grow your personal brand in a way that stands out in 2023 and beyond. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, it's important to define what you're actually trying to create online. This is your niche or your kind of area of expertise. You want to dial in and focus on building your personal brand in a specific industry or field. See, this is going to help you stand out and actually be seen as an authority in that field. If you're trying to be the expert in everything, people won't really understand who you are or what you do. So if you have a defined niche, it's going to help you go ahead and actually create content and attract the right audience for that type of industry. The more laser focused you are, the better chances you have to succeed. So rather than being the jack of all trades, try to be a master of one or a couple. Next, you need to go ahead and start establishing an online presence. What you can do is you can actually go ahead and create a website and social media accounts that align with your personal brand. So you want to set up a personal brand website. It's pretty easy to do that. You can just go to a site like Go High Level where there's templates where you can literally plug and play and put your content in there, or you can hire someone online for a couple $100 to build you a website. From there, you want to go ahead and actually start posting content. Now, this is relevant content to the actual niche that you're looking to appeal to. With this, you can actually connect with the right types of clients and anyone who want to collaborate with you in your business. Now, when it comes to putting out your content and building social media profiles in your brand, there's two things to be aware of. Number one is the level of social proof or authority. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, there is this kind of unspoken code, which is like, if you don't have any followers, people just aren't going to follow you. It doesn't make sense. Like, hey, if I only have 300 followers, like I want to build organically and get real people. But if someone comes to your page, no matter how high quality your content is, if you only have 300 or even 3,000 followers, people are going to instantly be like, okay, is this even a real account? Is this a fan page? Like, what is this? And their brain won't be able to make sense of it. So you do need to establish what I call a baseline level of social proof online in order for you to be taken seriously. The best way to do this is to actually go ahead and find ways to grow your following rapidly. And so kind of the baseline level of social proof for most platforms is about 10,000 followers. And so if you can get 10,000 on Instagram, 10,000 on TikTok, 10,000 on Twitter, you can actually start having that kind of baseline level of proof where people look at you and they can actually understand and say, okay, cool, this actually makes sense. Now, to grow your following, there's a whole bunch of methods that we could make a whole other video talking about. But one of the most common ways people grow that's compliant with online platforms terms of service is called megas or giveaways. Basically, the way it works is a celebrity or some large page does a shout out where they say, hey, go ahead and follow this account. And all the accounts that account is following to be entered to win a MacBook or makeup or whatever it is. And with this, then people go and they follow all those accounts, and you would be one of those accounts. And so it's, not hard to necessarily find someone to do that, to actually go ahead and do those giveaways. You'll have people reaching out to you all the time once you start posting content, but you do want to just make sure you vet them and make sure that they're not just providing bot. That's one way. But the other way that people grow is you can literally just buy fake followers online. You can go and buy 5,000, 10,000 bot accounts, bot as in B-O-T, not B-A-U-G-H-T. And you can actually just get these fake accounts to follow you. Now, this is not compliant with social media terms and service. This can really affect your engagement, the quality of your account. So I wouldn't go ahead and actually recommend getting those accounts to follow you. Now, once you have that baseline level of social proof, or at least you start kind of working on it, now you can look to add value to your audience. The way this works is just create valuable content. Think like, what are the things that you know that you can speak on authentically as you and actually, guide your viewers to actually do. And so the easiest way to create content really is to just set up your phone and just record yourself talking and just chop it up into short little segments. And with that, it can be really easy to actually go ahead and just create little 15 to 30 second segments where you're adding value to an audience. There's lots of apps out there where you can just automatically add captions. So the process shouldn't take you more than a couple hours each day. Now, as far as how much content you should post, I recommend at least once per day. I have a software that I use that actually tracks all of my competitors and people in my industry as far as how often they post. And I see that the people who are gaining the most attention and growth online are literally the people that just post the most. And so it really isn't rocket science, but there is this kind of limiting belief that a lot of people have, which is, oh, well, if I post too frequently, people are just going to unfollow me and be annoyed. The reality is the opposite. If I look at my analytics right now, the majority of the people that see my content don't actually follow me. So what that means is that you're creating content for new people. You're creating content for people that don't actually follow you right now. And the best analogy I can tell you guys is that posting content online, especially short form content, is I live in Las Vegas, so it's kind of like playing a slot machine, right? In Vegas, you go to a casino, you put a quarter into a slot machine, and you pull the lever, and you hope that you're going to win. The same thing is online. In fact, social media platforms have reverse engineered the way your brain responds and how you can actually become addicted to social media platforms, much like casinos can make you addicted to gambling. And you're just basically posting something online and metaphorically pulling the lever, hoping that you'll get some kind of virality. And the thing is if I could just help you understand that every time you post, right, you put the quarter in, you have a chance at actually winning the viral contest. But what if you had a casino where it was free to play every slot machine? Would you play one slot machine every day, multiple slot machines every day, or as much as you could possibly do? And that's the way I look at content, right? You're effectively having a free opportunity to post or play as many slot machines as you can and pull the lever. So increase your quantity, but if you are, like I can't post 5 times a day, that's fine. Start with once a day, get that into a system and see if you can scale from there. Now, personal branding is kind of like a pyramid. There's on the base level, you're establishing what we already talked about, which is the baseline level of social proof. Within the next level is where you're actually going ahead and you're creating content. Next level up from there, you're going to look at ways to actually attract an audience. Now, there's 2 ways to attract an audience. Now, way one is you can actually go ahead and just like build an organic following through posting content, engaging with other pages, and doing these kind of methods. Or there's a much simpler way for you to actually go ahead and attract an audience in a way where you don't have to work for years and years and years to be able to get a few thousand followers. It's a way where you can actually tap into an existing system where there's a pre-built follower base and pull from it and draw it to you. And it's a very simple process, basically called collaboration. If you can find ways to actually work with other people who already have a built-in audience and pull from, you can actually leverage their audience and not have to worry about spending years to do it yourself. Let me give you an example. If you can find a way to collaborate with someone who has 100,000 followers, let's say you only have 10,000 or 11,000, well, even if you get 100 followers from that person, if I were to go do targeted campaigns to get targeted followers, I'm going to spend anywhere from $5 to $10 to get a targeted follower to come to me. And so if you think about 100 followers at $10 each, that's like $1,000 worth of advertising budget. So if you can find ways, I'm not saying pay them, but find ways to be able to collaborate with other brands and influencers where you can actually pull their following to your own following, that's a great way for you to actually build your audience. Now, a simple way for you to do this is actually going ahead and getting on podcasts. And so if you can get yourself featured on other people's podcasts, these are people who have audiences that you could potentially pull from. You see, podcasts are great because there's a ton of podcasts. In fact, there's almost more podcasters out there than guests. And so there's tons of podcast shows that are desperately seeking guests like you to actually go on their podcast. So you can there's a lot of sites out there. One's called Match.fm. You can literally go on there and create a profile where you can actually go ahead and start reaching out to other podcast guests or podcast hosts and ask if they want to feature you on their podcast. It's a great way to tap into pre-existing audiences and potentially pull people over to follow you. Now, the final pillar of building a personal brand at the top is really developing that true, authentic following. And so in order to do that, you really got to be your true, authentic self. Now, this isn't like a whole pitch about like, just be you. But the reality with this is you do need to be true to yourself. If you're speaking something that isn't you, people are going to feel it. You know, people can see through, the majority of people can see through BS. And to be honest, you know, I've worked with thousands of agency owners. I've worked with thousands of business owners. And if I have someone come to me and they're telling me, hey, I'm making 100K a month, I'm doing XYZ, I can tell pretty much 99% of the time whether they're full of crap or whether they're authentic. Especially people who've been through a level before and actually done it themselves. They can look back and they can see, I can pretty much pinpoint when an agency owner comes to me where they're at as far as revenue goes based on the way they're showing up in the world. And I can pretty much tell you exactly what they're doing as far as revenue goes. So don't fake it. People can tell, especially the people that matter, they can see through it. Now, to build this true authentic following, one of my favorite things to do at the pillar of this triangle is to actually start finding opportunities to speak on stages. You see, if you can find ways to tap into what we talked about earlier, which is pre-existing audiences, it can actually grow your following significantly. And there's no better way than getting in front of people who are literally paying to be in a room. In fact, when you're speaking on stages, it could be thousands. The largest stage I ever spoke on so far has had 3,000 people on it or in the room. And so the thing is with that, these are all people that literally paid to be there. In fact, most people paid not only to be there, but to also travel to be there. And so these are people that are dedicated to personal development, learning, growing, and they're looking for opportunities to develop themselves. In fact, it's one of the best ways to pick up potential clients because these people want to build and grow. And so once you've established the baseline level of social proof, you've identified what kind of content you're going to create, you're starting to build your following by tapping into podcasts and other people's audiences. At the pinnacle, at the top level, you're going to be able to get opportunities to stand in front of potentially thousands of people and pitch your story. So I know that's a lot of information. I kind of just gave you the fire hose and I'm telling you guys to drink up, but that's building a personal brand. When I work with clients, we work with clients from everywhere from a couple $1,000s a month to tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to work with them and grow their brand. And this is the exact formula we take them through. We build that baseline level of social proof. We take them up and we ascend them to the top, the level where they're speaking on stages and they're having a real authentic audience. So if you're looking to build your online presence, that's the formula. You have no excuses now on why you're not doing it. I just gave you all the knowledge I have on that. And I would love to have you guys go out and apply it. Now, if you got value from this video, you learned something, maybe you were inspired, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I make videos about growing online, building a business online, marketing and stuff like that. So I'd love to see you subscribe and we'll see you in the next video.